What up? Gum and cheese. Don't eat that gum and cheese. Don't eat that gum and cheese. Just letting some people know that I'm live. This video was actually requested by my friend Nicole, who is part of the Why I Left Atlanta crowd. And that's, why she subbed to me. Because there's a large group of people who are moving to Atlanta, but they're finding out that it's not all what it's cracked up to be because they're not prepared. Now, she asked me, why did I move to Columbus, Ohio, where I live now? And okay, I'm from Akron. I was born in Akron, but I only lived in Akron when I was a baby. My mom, as soon as I was born, my mom was like, we're leaving. As if I would understand that. But right out of the hospital, we moved right to Pittsburgh. So when I was a baby, I spent a day in Akron, moved to Pittsburgh, grew up in Pittsburgh. I grew up in Braddock, but I kind of grew up all over Pittsburgh. So I'm a Steeler fan, all that good stuff. I lived in Avalon. I went to school in Edgewood. I ended up graduating in Beaver County, which is New Brighton High School. I lived in the hood. I lived in nice areas, but I grew up mostly poor. Very, very, very poor. Rats, roaches, hungry all the time. That kind of poor, this guy. So once, when I was in Pittsburgh, and once I graduated, I had some options that were open to me. I could, and this is when I was living in New Kensington with my sister. My options were stay in New Kensington where drugs and all that was going on, pregnancies and nobody getting married and all that other stuff. Just nothing happening. Big drug dealer lived right next door to me. Big drug dealer. And hey, Nicole, big drug dealer lived right next door to me. Didn't bother us. It's what he did. Seeing women getting beat up and there was just nothing going on in Pittsburgh, in New Kensington, where I was at. I had a good church family there. People loved me. I wasn't in any type of danger or trouble, but I was doing nothing. So I asked one of the church members, actually the young lady who I was dating at the time, I asked her mom, I was like, yo, what should I do? She's like, you're not really doing anything. And at that time, the military used to come down to the hood. This is what the Army used to do. The Army would come down to the hood in their recruiter's outfit and stand and watch us race in the streets, all wrestle and fight, and just stand there and watch us. And just look at us. Full Army gear, Army recruiter gear. They wanted us to know who they was, and they would just stand there. We'd just be looking at them like, you're not even from here. Lakeisha. And we'd be looking at him like, you're not even from here. And he would just, it was like a moth to a flame. He knew there was nothing going on there for you guys to get into. Nothing. There was nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble. So it's just going to be a matter of time before you approach me. And that's exactly what we did. So I approached him. I told him I took the ASVAB. I got a 31 on it. I didn't get into the Air Force like I wanted to. I missed it by 2 points. And he says, I can put you into the Army. I was like, I don't think I want to do that. I had a stepbrother went to Parris Island, so he went to the Marines. But my older brother went into the Army. My dad went into the Army. My sister on my dad's side went into the Army. Her child now, her nephew, in the Army. But before all that, I pretty much followed in my dad's footsteps. He went to the one. Um, I went to the Army when I was 19. I was also the girlfriend I had at that time. I decided that I wanted to marry her. So we were engaged, and I had no money, but I was like, I can go into the service, get money when I love, to help take care of my mom because she lived right across the street from me and my sister. But we were all poor. So I was like, I'm tired of this. I need to do something. Now, mind you, when I was 17, I got 2 letters to play football. One was for a Big Ten school. That was Penn State. They were interested in me because I broke a high school record for most consecutive tackles, 8 in a row. So I don't know if that record still stands, but I was playing nose guard for one game. I had a great game, and I was all in the paper for it. My name was mentioned in the paper, but it was such a great game that other guys on my team, they were shining too. So one of them got the shine out of that, and he was in the paper. And I was just like, okay, I broke a high school record. This guy broke somebody's collarbone. He gets to be in the paper, but whatever. I got scouted also by Slippery Rock, and so I had 2 letters to go into college. I didn't take either one because I decided I didn't want to play football anymore. Why? Because I was getting my bell rung. I knew the whole concussion situation was coming up. Mind you, this is 30 years ago. So I was already suffering from a lot of the yes, much love. I was already suffering from the whole helmet issue that they're talking about now and they're doing things about. I was suffering from that in the 8th grade. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to keep getting hit like this. This is just not enough protection. It's enough protection, but it's not. Anyways, so I went from there into the military, stayed in the military for 3 years, got out of the military, stayed in Kansas for a little while because I had a girlfriend that lived there, and then I moved back to Pittsburgh. When I moved back to Pittsburgh, my whole hood changed. It just got worse. My mom was living again in another spot that I didn't like. And then she, when she moved, it just got bad. And then eventually she passed on because she had cancer. So this is why these people who cancer and they don't really have it, I just want to beat all those people up because my mom died from that. And I'm just like, you assholes. I watched my mom die from this stuff. Like, get out of here with that. Like, it irks me to no end to see people fake cancer and get all of these get free rides this, free meal this, GoFundMe this. God, nothing. We didn't ask anybody for anything. We went directly to our family members, and they helped take care of my mom. We got nothing, and my mom had pancreatic cancer. Okay, if you don't know anything about pancreatic cancer or cancer, period, pancreatic cancer is the one cancer that you're not going to survive. The richest man in the world, or one of them, had pancreatic cancer, and that was the guy who owned Apple. That's what he died from. There's a lot of people who are famous died from pancreatic cancer. Yes, it takes you out this world. Sorry to hear that, Lakeisha. So it just irks me to no end to see people fake cancer. Anyway, and I have a couple other family members who have it now. So I just hate to see that and all this so-called support. None of my family members who has cancer now goes onto the internet and says, give me money, I have cancer. None of them. 2 of them have it, and nobody else knows it. And I'm not going to get on there and say, hey, my family member has cancer. Feel sorry for us. No, find a damn cure. We're not trying to hear that. It just irks me how people play other people, and it just, I don't know, I'm done. Anyway, so that happened. She passed away. I end up moving with my dad back to Akron because I wanted to get to know him. I was around 25. That was not a great experience. Out of his house into my own house. Excuse me, I was 23. I moved into my own house. Worked in Akron. Worked at fast food restaurants. Then I ended up working at Ponderosa. And I went from big ups to Mr. Garamone, who was a great manager. He was a great manager. I went from Ponderosa to TGI Fridays that had just opened up, and they were hiring for $5.50 an hour. Right, find a cure, get up off of that. So, and I can talk about that in a whole nother video, the experience I had with cancer and I'm still having with cancer. I can dip into that if you're to talk about that experience. But so anyway, trying to stay on why I moved. And I can do that. Let me say this, Lakeisha. If you want to talk about that, like we can, like as soon as I stop this video, we can just pop up and just start a whole another video chat. And you know, if you want to express anything about that, and we can just stay on that topic. And because there are some interesting findings recently when it comes to all illnesses, but especially cancer. So we can dip into that if that's what you want to do. But nonetheless, so I lived with my dad. That wasn't cool. And then I moved out, got my own spot. That was cool. I stayed there for a little while. I didn't even furnish the place. And Akron was cool, but Akron, there was always an Akron at that time. And that's when everybody was carrying a beeper. Some of them had these big old heart monitor beepers. Everybody thought they was the junk because they had these beepers. You know, I was like, why are y'all carrying these big old, you know, Nextel chirping, cheep, you know, all that other stuff. But Akron, small town Akron was a big time drug dealer spot. Big time. And the drug dealers wasn't hiding it until the Feddies came and cleaned them all up. And it was like you saw none of the people that you saw. Look, this is how real it was. I knew one of them, and I was at work, but I'm just a regular Joe. I've never been into that stuff. And I was at work, and one day he was talking about it while we was at work at TGI Fridays, and basically he was telling me, you know, how it goes and all that other stuff. The next day, didn't see him again. I never saw that man again. He didn't come to work. He didn't call. No, nothing. I never saw him again. I don't know what happened to him, but he disappeared along with a lot of other people. Right. I want a beeper. But he was gone, and I never seen him. I've never seen him. I've never seen his car. Nobody asked where, no, nothing. I never saw that dude. And I'm hoping he's safe because he was a really cool dude. He was just, you know, he was a doughboy, but he was just a real cool dude. And there was a lot of people who were into it. I was more into chasing chicks. And so that's what I've always been off into, you know, running after goofy girls who wasn't worth the time of day. But I've always been a hopeless romantic, so it is what it is. But it kept me out of the streets. You know what I'm saying? Chasing chicks is a whole different type of drug. And so what happened to him and the rest of them? Well, I think that, well, the federal agents got to him. The police got to him. But it wasn't the local police. It was the federal police. Because there was so much traffic in Akron. Listen, one thing about Black people that I just never get. When Black people get money, they want everybody to know they got money. Now, I've had some money before and was just a generous person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about they want the rims. They're doing stuff that's illegal, and they want everybody to know that I'm the bad guy. I'm the illegal guy. It's just like the feds are watching you. I never understood it. I was like, you guys come to the club, You know that people are watching you. I want everybody to see that I'm the big drug dealer. I never, ever, ever, ever understood it. And I watched these people disappear like puff of smoke. They were gone. I mean, they right. They cleaned up the block, just snatching people, just gone. These people were gone. They went to federal prison. So it was real. It was real. When the feds just got tired of it, they got tired of the killings. They got tired of the people, other regular people like me being harassed. They just like, no, we're not having that. So it was over for them. But nonetheless, I started inquiring about Columbus, Ohio, and a friend that I worked with, older guy, he was like, yeah, but it's very racist. He's like, you can go, but it's racist. I'm telling you right now, you're going to run into a lot of racism. And I said, well, I'm going to take my chances because during that time, my mom was still alive, and I wanted to get money for, of course, my mom and, my sisters and them. So I was like, I'm going to get money. I'm going to go work for the state, make my mom proud of me. And so my mom died in 2000. This was way before 2001. So I was like, wonder, do the feds keep the drug money? Yeah, they keep it and do stuff with it. A lot of them probably pocket it. They take it, buy weapons with it, upgrade. I mean, come on. They just found 500 kilos recently. What they do with those drugs, I don't know. But I know when these cops, they go and raid these drug dealers, they were keeping that money. One cop just got busted for that because he was busting drug dealers and taking their money. That's the reason he was busting. Another group of cops got busted for it because they were stopping truck drivers just to see if they had money, and they were caught saying it. They were like, if you got money on you, just tell us. And the one guy was like, I got $10,000. They took his money. He's a truck driver. And there was another, some black guys who were business owners, and the freaking highway police stopped them, searched their car, found that they had, 15 G's on them, and took their money. And he was like, why are you taking my money? He's like, well, you probably got this illegally. He's like, how do I have it illegally? I'm a business owner. So they thought that they were drug dealers, and so they end up getting sued. But it's a hassle to hire a lawyer to get your money back. But these guys were business owners, so they had large amounts of cash. I mean, people who are business owners, they transfer large amounts of cash sometimes because it's just easier. Well, if you have a large amount of cash and they see you on the highway with it, they stop you and they search you on a highway with it, then guess what? They're going to take your money, and you're going to have to fight the department, the police department, in order to get some of it back. By the time you get it back, it wasn't worth the fight, depending on how much it is. But so that's going on right now, especially if you're in Tennessee. So you're looking at a fight on your hands. You're also looking at getting threatened and all this other stuff. They're going to do everything they can to keep that money from you. And just straight up, it's robbery is what it is. They're just straight up robbing you. So you got to be careful because police are really doing that. You know what I mean? And they're justifying it like some kind of crazy way. The court system is trying to. It's just like, how are you justifying this? Just like Black Youngster, which is an artist, rap artist, went to the bank and got $250,000 out the bank cash. Well, the lady, lady at the front desk who handed him his cash called the police on him. It's just like, wait a minute. Why wouldn't you call the police before you gave this man this money? She called the police on him. The police rolled up and took his money. So he had to go and get his trap back. Like, they didn't want to give him his money back. He had to call his lawyer and give me back my money. So if you have large amounts of money, the police are going to. They've been robbing people. I'm not going to say that they are. I'm just saying they've been straight up just robbing people. And we know all this is a fact. For anybody who says they're not doing this, it's on record. Anyways, so when they see a bunch of drug dealers, it's easy to take that money and, do what they want with it, Uh, um, you've had some cases where the police are like, "No, I'm not going to take that money," and the police who don't take the money are looked at as bad because there are police who are doing nothing but taking the money. There's even a movie about it, and I think Russell Crowe played one of the actors who did not take the drug money, and the police were looking at him like, "We can't work with you." And it's all bad then because now you have all of them against you, and things happen. So we know that there's corruption on all levels, but it's happening. That's still happening today, and everybody knows it. So it's not like I'm uncovering something. Everybody knows it. Nonetheless, so that was going on big time in Akron. But once I got to Columbus, the racism from the police was very real. I would be walking down the street and the police would just be looking at me hard. And eventually they would pull me over walking down the street. It's happened so many times. I'm walking across a parking lot. What are you doing? I'm walking across a parking lot. Let me see your ID. And then they start harassing you. I got put in jail once for a fight that I was not in. Me and a guy was gonna fight. They maced us and threw us in jail. We never threw a blow. And I got thrown in jail once, and the honor said, "What are you here for?" The judge asked me why I was in jail. I said, "I was hoping you could tell me." But I'm sitting here in high handcuffs, and the white cop is looking at me smiling. Just doing it because I've just been harassed so much by the police. This is why I don't dislike all police, but I don't want to go anywhere near them. I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't have no, like, if I don't know the cop, I don't automatically assume it's a good cop. I just assume that me and that cop are going this way. I need to go this way. That cop is going that way. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to be your friend. We don't need to be friends. We can work together on something. It's to be handled. I'm okay with that. But as far as us like being cool, I'm sorry. You can lose your mind and get away with it, and I can't. So I'm good. I've actually had some terrible things happen to my family with cops too. And so my disdain for cops it's deep seated from the very beginning of my life. Nonetheless, Columbus, Ohio, what's it like living back then? Very, very racist. When I transferred from TGIF Fridays to a TGIF Fridays, once I got to the TGIF Fridays, we were swamped one weekend, right? And I was working, and we lost our fry cook, prep person. And I was supposed to be just pretty much handling the meat department and stuff like that, cooking the main entrees. Well, we lost the fry cook, and we lost the person up front, the prep. So guess who was doing it? I was doing all of that. It was called an expediter. I was doing all of this, but this white woman, who is a manager, was just standing there looking at me like this. And I'm like, it's the weekend. We're swamped, and you're mad because I didn't put the lettuce on the right side. Like, you're going to sit there and critique me now? Like, really? I was like, where's your fry cook at? I was like, where's your expediter? They're not here, are they? You know what I'm saying? And she's sitting up here giving me lip. It got to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And I quit. I should have found another job before I did that, but I quit. And I was living with a guy I worked with for a minute. And it was just a hard way to go. Finding a job in Columbus because of the racism was very, very real. I struggled a lot. I even, I worked a lot of temporary service jobs, because they kept you alive. At one time, me and my friends were living like a bunch of Mexicans, and I'm not being racist, but I say big ups to the Mexicans because you can get a bunch of them that all be living in the same place and making money. And we lived in a projects that they just tore down about 3 or 4 years ago. It was called Uzi Alley. Uzi Alley is a terrible place to live. It was named after a guy who used to shoot people with an Uzi. So basically, the real name of it was Greenbrier, just a dirty projects. But we would all be huddled up in one apartment and going to work in my little Chevy Chevette, working for Calcan. Calcan used to hire you for day laborers only for that day. But the thing about it is, if you spoke too much, they would kick you out. They'd be like, we don't want this person to come back. But they wouldn't say it to you. They would just watch you. And you'd be sitting there having a conversation with somebody, but they figure if you're talking to somebody, then you're not working, which is not even close to being true because you're standing right there watching us separate the dog food and talking to each other. And you don't have a sign that says, don't talk to. You say, separate these cans. But they think if you're talking, then you're working slower. It's not even close to being true. The conveyor belt only goes so fast. It's not like you can speed up the damn conveyor belt. So they would just fire people just because they were racist assholes. You're fired. And back then you were making like the minimum wage was like $4 an hour. So we would get like maybe 30 or 40 bucks that day, and it meant the world just to get that little $30. It was everything just to get that money. So whenever they fired, they knew that they were hurting you. So that was happening a lot here. Some 25, 26 years ago. Nonetheless, it just didn't get better. Being that I was a veteran, I had them to fall back on to help me pay my rent. But there was, times where I was. So I went through that, would have to crash on people's couches, apply for welfare, things along that realm. That was a big time struggle. I would apply for the state constantly. The state would play around with you, wouldn't let you in. They would use things to just not let you in. And it was like, oh my God, what do you have to do to get a job? Because everybody knew if you got a job with the state, you're an actual employee with the state, it's like hitting the lottery. The people who worked for the state knew that. There were so many people trying to get their ass in that state building because the jobs aren't hard and they paid good. Like $9 an hour is like hitting the lottery back then. Look, I'm not even close to being kidding. It really was. So you would be begging to try to get these jobs, and you would just have so many people just hate you just because you were black, and they would be black people. It'd be like, damn, bro. Like they would look right at you and be like, no. Like, we're not going to hire you. We don't want another black person in here. And you're a black. Like that's how the black people here would cover by, okay. See you next time. Love you for things. Okay, baby, bye. Happy Thanksgiving. So they would covet these positions and would only like try to nepotism, like get their family in or their friends in. But if we don't know you, you're not getting in here. Like there's people like that. The people who weren't like that are the people who weren't from Columbus. Not all white people was very racist, but all of them knew that they had the power to pretty much, they all knew that. So, working, trying to get in the door with, I don't know. There's some great people I met at the state. Great, awesome people. Because I ended up, what I stopped doing, I stopped working for places like Calcan that paid you minimum wage. Even though they paid you right now, that's the whole game. You need some money right now, go work for a day labor. There was about 3 or 4 of them. Labor Ready and a couple of other ones. Minuteman, hard labor if you're working for Minuteman. Hard labor. You're going to be doing, we would literally be walking through trash, and they treated us like trash. They treated us like trash. They treated the Mexicans like gold. It just, they treat black people here so terrible. Until, you get enough complaints, you get enough people in positions of power. But nonetheless, they just treat you like trash. They don't want to see you. And it's still like that in a lot of ways, but I don't work in those arenas. But nonetheless, I did meet some good people who did work for the state. As time went on, I said, you know what, I could be a file clerk instead of being, somebody run around in the trash. So I started applying for whoever had the contract with the state and said, okay, I can temp for them. And when I started doing that, it was suit and tie time. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get me some hard shoes, suit and tie. Thing about that is the women, soon as they saw a black man, this is a black woman, soon as they saw a black man who had a suit and tie on, they wanted to marry you. They went right past, give me your phone number, can I get to know you? They went directly past all the getting familiar to you're my man right now. And I was like, well, no, I'm not. I'm here to work, because messing around with those women meant you weren't going to be there long. Because if they didn't like you, and what they were going to do is go tell the boss that you did something that you didn't do. And there goes your money. They're not going to help you pay your rent. You're not working there. They're not going to help you pay your rent. One of them says they don't like you. The boss, usually the white guy, would be like, we don't want this person back. They wouldn't say nothing to you. They just pick up the phone, call the temporary service and say, we don't want this person back. Click. You're not coming back. That's it. These black women would from you and then tell you that you ain't nothing. You're a bum. You ain't nothing. You're lazy. You don't work. And it's just like, I was working last time I checked, but you wanted me to sleep with you and I said no. And because I said no, you went and told the white man that I did something or said something to you that you didn't like, and I got fired for it. That's why I'm not working now, because I didn't want you. And this has happened on so many occasions. And my friend Jeff, he's, good looking black guy. And he came, he used to be my neighbor. He was like, I'm a temp down at the state. Do it. Don't go in there and tell those people. I was like, don't go in there and mess with those women. I'm telling you right now, they're going to be all over you. Do not mess with them. For one, you're gay. All right. But you act like you're not, but you know you are. You know what I'm saying? So, this guy had never dated a woman. You know what I'm saying? It was all about the men for him. So he goes down there. I see him 2 days later. You know what I'm saying? I see him 2 days later. He's like, no, I saw him the next day. He came to my apartment. Oh, man, those women, they're all over me. He was like showing me their cell phone. They gave me cell phones. They gave me their car keys. One of them gave me money. It's just a bunch of women that just swarmed him, because there are a bunch of women sitting up there single, and some of them are married and are tracking you down because they want the D. They're married. Some of them have their husbands and boyfriends picking them up, but they're still trying to get extra D on the side. It is crazy in the States. Like when you work for the state, it's just like, yo, and look, all you are is a piece of meat. They just pass you around. That's what you are. Like if you're quiet and stay to yourself, they're gonna start talking about you. But if you like go up there and try to get on them, you get on them for about, you might get on maybe one or two of them, but I'm telling you, that is your downfall. It's you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. There's nothing to protect you, because the job is not protected. Even if you're intermittent, the job doesn't protect you. There's no temporary service union. You're not protected. These girls been sitting up there for 10 years doing the same thing. Just get him out of here. We want him. We don't want him. Is he going to screw us? Yes. Okay, we'll screw him for a month. Boom, we're done with you. We don't want to see you no more. Because they're not even ashamed that the fact that they slept with you. It's just that they don't want to look at you no more. You're gone. We don't want this person. And that's what they did. That's what they probably still do. I don't know. I don't work in those arenas. But it was like that. I was like, and then they'll act like they don't know you. They'll do every freaky, nasty, dirty thing with you, have a husband or a boyfriend, and then the next day, we don't know you. Like, I'm talking about the black women in these state buildings. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Now, some of them I met was super, 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 super cool. Super, super dope. And they're still my friend today. She married, got a great husband. She's still cool with me today. Great person. But you got to understand, one or two people in there that's super cool doesn't overshadow the bunch of people in these jobs. Hey, what's going on, Natasha? Doesn't overshadow the people who are in there who will cancel your Christmas in a heartbeat. And I mean cancel your Christmas. They'll take money right out of your mouth and treat you like you're not nothing. They'll tell you to your face you're not nothing. You ain't nothing. You're like, I had a job, but you just took it away from me. You know? So it became unattractive to work in those arenas where you had a bunch of women, because the majority of people that worked in there were women. So you had problems with white women and black women. You did. The white women, they're just intimidated by you. But you can get some cool white women who are cool with you and don't give a damn about you. That's the white women that you want. Here's the positive on white women. You get the white women who don't really care about you. That's the woman you want, because she doesn't like you or dislike you. She just wants to come to work every day. That's cool. That's what you want. You get the black woman that is not interested in sleeping with you. She's not interested in hating on you. And she's usually happy to see you because they actually need you. You know, that's the sister that you want to hang around. But it's a pocket of them, and you got to find that pocket and mingle amongst them. Because if you step out of that pocket and start talking to the wrong woman, you're going to lose your temporary job, even your intermittent job. Now, one time the state, I was working as an intermittent, and they fired half of the floor. They fired regular workers and temporary workers and intermittent workers. So that was terrible. I also worked for the Ohio House of Representatives. I went through a temporary service, and I was there for, working for two different reps, and they said, why don't we just hire this guy on? So they just hired me on, and then term limits came up. So the last person I worked for reached her term limits. So when she left, I left. Now, I turned around and I asked a black representative, can I work for her? She interviewed me and everything, but she didn't hire me. And then it turned around, and then they said, well, they can't really hire me up there anymore because I was getting emails from the Democrats and the Republicans. But they could have fixed that. That was their fault. They could have fixed that. But that was a nice suit and tie job that I had. After that, I went to work for the state. And after that, when I left there, I had an interview, a panel interview for the Department of Alcohol. And I was the only one. And there was one cool white dude in there who was looking out for me. He was like, yeah, man, you can come and walk into this job. And he's like, it's set up just for you. Whole nine, we're going to get you register a weapon and all this, that, and the third. I was like, cool. Soon they called me in for an interview, and two people on the panel, white people, didn't like me, and a woman. I don't know what her nationality was, but she wasn't black, she wasn't white though, but they didn't like me. So what they did was they said, we're going to give you a test, and they gave me a written test, and I misspelled two words, and they said, we're not going to hire you because you misspelled these two words. I was like, wait, what? And then sent me a letter and told me to come up Two, they told me they told me to come back to the place where I interviewed. I came up there suit and tie, everything. They said, "Oh, we just wanted to tell you that we hired a white woman." Pour salt in the wound. And I looked at this lady like, "You brought me all the way up here for that?" And she laughed. Now I started to go off, but I said, if you go off here, one, you're going to go to jail. Two, they're going to spread it around every state department there is. It'll be a blight. So I just put my hands in my pocket, got on the elevator, and didn't turn back. That's the kind of stuff that I've gone through here. I'm going through a lot. People trying to fight me and all that when I just want to. I've gone through a lot of racism. Like, I had no idea what they was talking about until I got here. Now, back in the day, back in the 90s, almost like 98, 90, 96, 97. Okay, we'll take 97. The KKK used to, well, they're still part of the police department now today. But what they used to do is during Martin Luther King Day, black people would have this huge parade pretty much. And it would be from the courthouse all the way down past, as if you guys know where this is, but it'd be almost a mile stretch, a little less than a mile. And you would have these nice shiny, you would have these, oh, it's crazy up here. You have these nice shiny cars, brothers out there with gold Cadillacs. It'd be about 5 or 6 gold Cadillacs. Like, this is what these brothers did all the time. They would show off these old Cadillacs with trues and rolls. You would have just a parade, black people just creeping real slow. And the city knew we did it all. It's the Martin Luther King Day parade. And then while all these black people are standing out there happy and cheering about and loving being black, you have a float that came down with a bunch of men dressed in KKK outfits, yelling the N-word at you, calling you all kind of names. And the police would just stand there and watch them do it. Then they would go on a state lawn and do the same. And they'd be hollering obscenities at you, calling you all kind of names, death threats and all this other kind of stuff. And there was nothing we could do about it. That's what you're facing when you're in Columbus, Ohio. Now, they stopped doing that. But you know what? They stopped the Martin Luther King Day parade. They didn't stop the white people, these policemen, from doing this. They just stopped the whole damn parade. They're like, "No, we're not doing this no more." That's how real it is here. That's how real it is. And, people are like, "Oh, how do you know it was the police?" Because even on the news, a cop had a KKK outfit on, and then they had a picture of him without it on. They had him right on the 6 o'clock news. He was like a police officer, yada, yada, yada. It was just like, we know that they're the cops. We know. They used to also have a festival where black people would do the same, kind of like the same thing, but it would be going down towards OSU. So it would start at 2nd Avenue into Lane Street, about a mile or so, creeping real slow, black people having fun, celebrating. There would be no white officer. There would be no black officers allowed from 2nd Street to Lane. Because I walked it looking for a black officer. There were none. And what they would do is they would look in the white people, the white cops, and look, harass you and get out the car, pull this car over, give you tickets for just arbitrary reasons. Me mugging you, just starting stuff. Because they know that they have an army, weapons, everything. They'll slaughter everyone and care not one damn bit about it. They won't raise an eyebrow about it. And all the white people will say, well, they must have deserved it. They will slaughter everyone like it's nothing. Be like, so what? That's how real it is here. That's how real it is. And the black police ain't no better. I just don't have any love for them. I have appreciation for their job because you need a police officer. But the ones who are doing a good job, you need more of them. The ones who just hate you for no reason. I wish that the angels of the Lord would just remove all of them. Put them on their own planet where they can just hate and nobody gets killed. Nobody gets affected. Just put even the black people who hate each other, give them their own space, Lord. Because there are people who just want to go around their daily business. Man, I done been harassed so much and my car taken and all it's just better to walk. But I've had friends who are pulled over walking. I've been pulled over walking. Just mind my business. Now, the good thing about Columbus is the economic system. Columbus, Ohio is okay. Columbus, Ohio has probably 30 temporary services, whether it's day labor, whether it's just for a couple weeks, whether it's just for a couple hours. They have so many of them. And what the state did was the state said, we don't want to contract out with all of you at the same time. So we'll get contracts from one of you a certain amount of time and we'll rotate. So you get 2 months or no, you get this year, you get this year, you get 6 months. So however they do it, whatever the time limit was. So the thing for us to do, if we needed money now, because it's going to keep you alive, because these regular jobs didn't want to hire. They just wanted to keep you around for a minute and throw you away like trash. So you had to play their game. You had no other choice. You have to eat. So what you did was you said, okay, who has a state contract? Because that's really what you want. The whole objective for me coming here was to get a state job. So I put a lot of concentration and wasted a lot of years just trying to do that. And it takes a long time. Now, not so much. The chances of me getting a state job now are a lot better than they were, and I might end up trying to do that. I'm not sure. But nonetheless, so when you have the say it's People Service, I'm just making it up. They had the contract. We would find out who had the contract. We would go to People Service, sign up with them, go through all their bull crap and rigmarole because they already knew they were going to get an influx of people, and then they act like they something. Like, get out of here. You're just a temporary service. Let us help you make money. We know how this goes. And you wait for their call, but you would sign up with any temporary services. That's the game. Adecco, Kelly Services, and all those other guys. And but the one you really want state contract. And that's how I got a couple state jobs. So it kept me alive for, it kept me going is what it did. It kept money in my pocket. When I had $0 and was looking around the house for pennies just to buy a bottle of water or something like that, I was always thinking, okay, I need to go to a day labor. So I would call up, it's called People Ready now, but it's called Labor Ready then. And you would find out there's 4 locations, and you would find out which one is going where. Now, after some years, I would constantly work with Labor Ready. They would have us shoveling dirt. They would have us doing the oddest jobs, but you did it. And then finally, they have the jobs out at Honda. in Marysville. Marysville is 45 minutes from here. So what you do is, if you had a car, if you had a car that could be on the highway 45 minutes one way, then you was about to make some money. So Labor Ready, what they did was say, do you drive? You'd be like, yeah, I drive. So they pay you whatever wage it was. The last time I worked there was $9 an hour. So you're just like, okay, and this was 2013. Okay. So $9 an hour is okay. Paid you $9 an hour. But everybody who rode with you had to pay you $2 going and $2 back. So you would stand there and say, who's coming with me? You'd be like Tom Cruise, who's coming with me? You get yourself 4 or 5 people, that's $20 off the rip. And Labor Ready would pay you gas. They pay you $50 in gas. Because they would pay you, and that's it. Okay, so there were different locations. You have an hour and a half away. It paid me $80 in gas just to go out there. Okay. But you didn't always have 4 or 5 riders. Sometimes you was by yourself. But the riders is where you made the non-taxable cash, especially if you was doing it every day. So I went from making very little money to making $600 a week. You know, and I had 2 vehicles. As long as my vehicles was up and running, I was good. Plus, I was taking classes. Now, what happened to me was in 2013, I was on my way to I stay at 2013. Let me go back to 2008. When I stopped working for the state, I got tired of what happened is I got tired of being harassed. I just got tired of people saying you can't work here because you're not good enough just because of the way you look. So what I did was I went on to Craigslist. And when I went on to Craigslist has a whole bunch of jobs that just anybody, we're just looking for people to do these jobs. I start off doing what's called brand ambassador, which is marketing and promotions. And the first one I did, I was a model. I just stood there, it was for Dutch Neon, just to show you how long ago that was. But I was doing that just on the side. But the last time I got fired from a job, I had a mental breakdown for 6 months. I went on welfare. And once I got out of my mental breakdown, I was like, I need to do something where I don't care if they fire me or not. So basically what I did was start, doing those jobs. They was paying $16, $17, $20, $25 an hour. And I'm like, I'm begging these people for $9 an hour. And you guys are paying me 17, 18. Oh my God, I start making a killing. And if you travel, it's even better. So I have myself a truck. I got one now. I have myself a Chevy Tahoe, 1998. I put a bed in the back of it, and I had myself a laptop, and I would sleep at Walmart. I would sleep at hotels outside in the parking lot because they had free Wi-Fi. And while I was at a job, I would be applying for another job. I was doing $500 a week, and then I said, I'm going to give myself a raise. I got all the way up to $1,200 in a week just by hustling. The thing about it was hot during the summer, but in the winter it tapered off. So if you didn't save your money, you're in trouble. I mean, I even traveled all the way to Oklahoma City, made $3,000 in 12 days. So that was the hustle. Doing that, working through Labor Ready, it's just constant money. But you had to be healthy to do it, get out there and do it. It could burn you out. Going on tour, I never went on a full tour myself, but at one time I was dating this wonderful older woman, and my truck broke down, and I had another older a lady who was older than me. I called her and was just like, hey, my truck broke down. I need $300. She sent it to me the same day. And Uh, that was cool. When my truck had broke down again, I went to this other older woman, black woman I used to date, great woman, and was like, my truck broke down, but I just got an email saying they want me to manage a promotion for a whole month, paying $900 a week. I said, can I borrow your station wagon? She said, yes. I was like, yes. Because I told these people I had a car, and I didn't. My car was broke down. But I wasn't going to tell them no. Man, I did that. I had to carry toilets. It was for Scrub and Bubble, so we had to carry a front pack. It was a big old toilet, demonstrated downtown. And I did that and for a month, and the people who was Ogilvy, they said, you did such a good job, we want you to go to Kentucky and do the same thing. And so that's what I did. And I was like, and, I was catching some flack from one of the people who worked at Ogilvy during that time. I was like, you know what? I don't need your flack. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. She was trying to, just say stuff to me to just get me riled up. And I was like, whatever. And basically I was like, do you guys have any more work? And they was like, no. I was like, okay. So what I did was I filed for unemployment. And I got it because I was unemployed. I was employed by them for over 6 weeks, and I was doing over 40 hours a week. So they owed me unemployment, and I got on unemployment because I couldn't find anything else. And I did that until, I could find something else. And also was going to school. And eventually, I was going to Columbus State. And eventually I got back into Franklin. And once I got back into Franklin, I finished up my classes there, but I got in a car accident in 2013. And I was on my way to work, and some guy just pulls in front of me and just boom. And after that, everything kind of went downhill again. I almost lost my apartment. I had no money. I had no income. So I was scraping for about a year until I got my money from my car that the guy totaled through the insurance. I got and also I got my workman's comp that came in, and then I got my money from my disability, my SSI. All came in at one time. All came in at one time. So back up in good standing, money in my pocket, but I was injured from the car accident to the point where I can't go out and make the money that I used to by doing the same thing. I tried, and it just doesn't work. So that's kind of where I'm at now. My situation, it's degenerative, so it gets worse more and more, and it's not going to get better. I've been to therapy; it's just not. So there it is. That's why I moved to Columbus, and my experience here. Yeah, I hope I covered probably not everything, but I covered a lot. Why I choose to stay here? The money. I don't make any money, but I don't have a lot of money. And I stay in a decent neighborhood. I have a 2-bedroom apartment. And I'm barely getting by, but I'm getting by. If I move to a bigger city, it's a whole different ballgame. In order for me to move to a bigger city, I would need $800 in rent. That's just rent. That's not including my electric, gas, water, car insurance, home insurance, and all that other stuff. So only way I can see that happening is if I find a great job in 2020 when I can start working, um, or two, if one of my creations happens to get up off the ground, you know, either my book, some of my music. But I don't make a lot of money on my creations, but I still create because it's what I am. Um, or my disability, which is probably going to go up because my situation is getting worse, and that's just how it is. You know, the situation gets worse, you go back to the military and say, my situation is getting worse. They give you more money because they know that you can't get up to do what you used to. And some of that is because of them, you know. So moving to another city, it would have to have the same economic structure as Columbus has. You know, I would have to find a decent place with cost of living that's $600 or less. But it's hard. Rent controlled apartments. You know, it's hard because a lot of times when you're looking for an apartment, you have to go through agencies now. Like when I lived in Atlanta, I had to go through an agency to find an apartment. The apartment I used to live in out here, they did that. It's like, oh, you have to go through the agency. You can't talk to the landlord anymore. And they're just making it difficult just to find a place to lay your head. And they use different ways of weeding you out. Like the apartment I used to live in, I lived there for 10 years. The landlord lost the apartment. The new landlords took over and was like, you need to leave. They raised the rent, made it $500. I was like, okay, I paid it. They were like, we still don't want you here. I was like, why? We just don't. You got 45 days and you need to leave. Here's your money back. That happened to me. Guys owned the gay bar downstairs and they were gay. I ain't got no problem with the gays until they got a problem with me. That's exactly what happened. They were like, yeah, we're the new landlords. We own the building. It's like, no, you don't. The bank owns the building. And they just came and kicked me out because they thought that I had something to do with them getting robbed, which I didn't. I don't know who robbed them, but they figure if it's a black person, then every black person robbed me if one black person robbed me. It's like, you got robbed because you have a high volume of people that come in there and everybody knows at the end of the night you have cash. It's a bar. That's why you got robbed at gunpoint. Had nothing to do with me. Nothing, because I care less about your money. I am not a robbery type of dude. You know, illegal is not what I'm into. I'm just not. I just don't care that much about what little money I'm going to get from you. And I've been hungry, starving, wondering when my next meal's coming from. I still was like, I'm not about to go rob these people. My first thing to do is start praying. Praying for a clear way to find out where I'm going to eat. Whether it's a pantry, whether it's calling somebody eating at their house. You don't do people dirt, think you ain't going to get it. You will. But, so, there that is. Moving to Texas seems to be the move. A lot of people are moving to Texas A lot of black people are moving to Texas. They have some neighborhoods that are well-to-do that are all black people, and I mean they're upper working class. They're not middle class people. These people are they're upper middle class people. Whole neighborhoods, $300,000 houses, which I have no desire to have. No desire to have a $300,000 house. None. I don't need to live in the biggest house on the block. I just have no desire for that. Like, I can't think of one reason why I would need that much house. Just to show off, to see who makes more money. I could care less. I really just could care less. But nonetheless, the people who can do it and do it, big ups to them. It's just not something that I think that I would want to do. A couple people just joined. How you doing today? Actually, the conversation is shifting to Houston, Texas, because I have friends, I have family that live in Houston and Dallas, and yeah. So there is a large shift of people who are moving to Texas. A lot of black people who are moving down there. I've been there about a year or so ago, 2 years ago, and it was chill. I didn't feel any kind of way when I was there. You know what I was surprised at though? When I was coming through the airport. There were Army. They were either Army or Marine. But they were standing there, hand on the gun, just standing there, waiting for something to jump off. And I was just like, wait, when did the airport start getting support from the military? This is the airport. And I was like, wait, if they have military support, what happened here that they're here every day, hand on the AR-15 and got a Glock 9? I do. I'll take it. I'll take it 100%. But I was like, hey, what's going on, Born Saver? But I was like, why is the military in the airport? And listen, they were all over the airport. And it wasn't like there was one military person there. It was like 4 or 5 all congregating together. Listen, I've been in the military, and I'm telling you, if there's 4 or 5 of us together, and we got orders to stand there fully dressed, we're not even blended in. You're not blended. You don't even look like a civilian. You're fully dressed down with BDUs, which are battle dress uniforms, fully dressed down BDUs with 2 weapons on you. Something's going on. 9/11, something was going on, bro. And I was like, oh, been like that since 9/11? Man, listen, I done traveled to a few airports since then. That's the only airport I saw that in. They don't have that up here in Columbus Airport. Not like that. Listen, I've been to Columbus Airport a few times. I have not seen one soldier at the Columbus Airport. Not one. Bro, in Houston, they were all over the place. I was in New York too. I didn't see him in the NY. Bro, but I believe they in the NY. I just didn't see them. But yo, I'm telling you, I was like, wow, they ready to get it on, let something jump off right now. I was like, man, I was like, oh, I ain't do nothing. Oh no, nothing. They do nothing. I he just called me didn't do nothing because uh. And you know their undercovers all up in there. You know the Fetty is in there too. You man, they was deep, bro. I was like, hell no. Here's the thing about it. Do you feel safe that the military is there? Like a military presence. Does that make you feel safer? It didn't make me feel safe. That did not make me feel safe whatsoever. Hell no. You know why? Because on your ass. You know what would make me feel safe? If I had a weapon. That would make me feel safe. I don't want to depend on them because they could look at you and you're the enemy and say, oh, oops, my bad. You just look like a guy who's just gonna, I don't know, eat a donut at the wrong time. And you set off the alarm because you got your pacemaker set off the alarm and I shot you in the face. My bad. I don't know what I was thinking about. Administrative leave. Do I get paid while I'm on administrative leave? Absolutely. Yeah, okay. I need a vacation anyway. Screw that guy and his family. Nah, bro. I feel safe that way I can defend myself. You know what I'm saying? But then when you can't have, 10 million people walking around with a weapon in the airport. I'm just saying, they didn't make me feel safe at all. They made me think that it's about to go down. That's how I felt. I'm like, who about to get shot up in this mud? Not me. I was ready to duck and cover. Nah. Bro. Anyways, it was for real. I think that was Houston. It was for real, bro. I don't know which one it was, but it was for real. I don't know where y'all live, but man. Listen. They had AR-15s. Try to explain to you if you don't know what an AR-15 is or you don't have one. The street name, you know what I'm saying? Listen, the street name is AR-15. The military name is M16. And M16 is 7.5 pounds. Okay? It's made so you can carry it over long distances without reaching fatigue because of the weapon. It's an air-cooled rifle, which means the muzzle of the rifle is cooled by the casing that's around it. In other words, you can take it and hold the casing and fire the weapon without burning your hand. It's air-cooled because there's holes in it to where the muzzle comes out. It's in the casing and there's hole there. So it's cooled by the air. Air-cooled weapon. It also holds 27 bullets. And it has a switch on it that goes from automatic to semi-automatic. That's not even the craziest part. The craziest part is if you shoot somebody with one of them, it doesn't one in and then comes out the other. No. If you shoot somebody and it hits a collarbone, it can come out of there in its way. This is what they got in the airport. I don't feel safe about that at all. Nah, bro. I'm sorry. Nah. I don't feel safe. Not whatsoever. That's crazy. But that's the life we live in right now. And I'm saying all that to say, if them boys and women ever let loose and flip that switch from semi to auto, you're going to see a bunch of people fall in a heartbeat. And the reload on that weapon is so fast. You can even have a banana clip on it, which is illegal. But if you're already in the heat of battle, who cares about illegal? But here's the reload on it. 27. It's that fast, literally. It's just a click up, snap, hit the button. That's it. 27 shots coming at you at like 2 seconds. No, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe at all, bro. Not unless I got one so I can fire back. Got me twisted. Anywho's, or pizza does sound great. Shoot, I was thinking about Pizza Hut, but they pizzas be, the best pizza. I went to Chicago and had a Chicago style pizza. It was so good. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I looked at that pizza. Me and my friend, when we went, we looked at the pizza. We was like, y'all got Chicago style? It was like, yeah, we make them. They made us one. When they brought the pizza out, we just stared at it. We just stared at the pizza. We were like, we didn't even want to eat it. It was so beautiful. It's just like, what? I'm supposed to eat this Mona Lisa pizza? Like, you guys make this every day? That's the thing about pizza. It's very high in calories because of the sauce. But oh my God. I had some fish earlier today. That was good. For all you people out there having relationship problems, I'm going to tell y'all something from an older guy. Let me tell you something. From an older guy who's burnt out on love. Love. I'm going to tell you something. If you find somebody that you can agree with 75% of the time, 75, not just 75% of the time, that person's worth working it out. If 75% of the time you guys are getting along, worth working it out. I'm just telling you now. Yeah, we just well, we were talking about airports. Then I got on to relationships. But are you looking at visiting Columbus? Come on up here and visit. You guys can crash on my couch. I don't care. Crash on my couch. Crash in my basement. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple blow-up beds. It's for my family because they live in Texas. So sometimes I take road trips all the way to Pittsburgh, where we're from. And I'm where they stop by at. So there'll be like 3 or 4 people here. And I'm just like, couch, blow-up bed, hit it. One of y'all monkey shines, couch, blow-up bed, knock yourself out. And they'll just be sprawled out all over the living room. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I ain't got time to deal with y'all, But yeah, I have plenty of space here. So if you guys want to visit and you're cordial and neat and polite, I don't care. You can stop by. If you're coming through Columbus, you can let me know. I'll meet up with you guys. I don't have a problem with that. The racism in Columbus has tapered down somewhat, but it's still very relevant and dangerous. Is the environment peaceful in your city? Somewhat. Somewhat. Born Savior, are you African American? Sure, pan pizza. I'll eat it. Deep dish. Born Savior, are you African American? Okay, yeah. Well, I know what you mean by so-called. That's a whole nother conversation, but you know what I mean. Which is better, Mama's Pizza? Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut, Pizza Hut. Well, yeah. I knew that's where you were going when you said so-called. Pizza Hut. That's I'd rather have that. Hold on a second, you guys. Turn some music on for you guys. See what's up. Oh, that song sucks. That song sucks. Play this song. See what this song is. Israelites, Hebrew Israelites. Yes, sir. Eat this. You're still ignoring me. Well, you know what? Which is better? You know what? I got more accomplished. Let me know if the music's too loud. We agreed to get along 90% of the time. Haven't had a fight in 3 months. I told you about. Yeah. Yeah, honesty is deep. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I got more accomplished when I left relationships alone. I got more done. I concentrated more on what I wanted and didn't care about what anybody else wanted. I saved more money. The police aren't looking for me. Every time I went to jail, it was because of a black woman. Every time. Every time. I stay out the way. I get looked at all the time. These little young ladies be looking at me. I see them, I just keep walking. Because I want to write my own success story. I don't need somebody to help me be successful. As far as relationship is concerned, I don't need that. I want to be successful. Yeah, you have to, because chasing people and focusing on people divides the focus that you may need on yourself. If you're not where you want to be, then you're you're focusing on somebody else, then you're taking energy away from where you want to be, which means it's going to take you longer. It's going to take you longer to get there. That's just my opinion. If that person is not pushing you, then that person is holding you. That person not pushing you forward, then they're holding you back. That's just it. You can go ahead and write that down. You can write that down. That's a free one. You can go ahead. I'll let y'all have that one. They're not pushing you forward, they're holding you back. I'm trying to tell you. If you're with somebody who's on your look, if you're with somebody who's on your squad, I don't mean somebody just laying up in your bedroom, because who cares? I'm talking about somebody who's like, I'm talking about somebody who's in your grill. Like, yo, son, yo, boy, you getting that money today? It's 5 o'clock in the morning, son. You better get that money. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody who's not only amping you, who's showing you how to get. Like, let me. Young dude I know used to work down at the gym. I go, cool dude, at work every day, holding it down. You know what I'm saying? Girlfriend, cool, everything, right? One day, manager comes in, fires him. Now he's a manager of the store. Yeah, you the big homie though. You the big homie, Nicole. So one day the manager comes in, district manager or whoever, and was like, yeah, we're going in another direction. You're fired, Jerry. Jerry was like, it's loud, but I'm sticking up for myself. But the music's loud. But so Jerry was like, what you mean? He was like, yeah, you're fired. We're going in a different direction. That's it. Columbus, Ohio is an at-will state, which means they can fire you at will. Jerry lost his job that he had for 2 years and he was at faithfully. So when I heard about it, I was like, I saw his. Hold on a second. So, good question. So I was like, I saw his girl. I was like, what happened to Jared? It's like, yeah, they fired him. I was like, why did they fire him? He said they were going in a different direction. I told this woman, I said, yeah. So when I saw him again, I said, Jerry, you know what happened? He told me what happened. I said, listen, did you file for unemployment? He said, nah. I said, why not? He said, I didn't know about it. I was like, nah, bro, they owe you money. I said, how long did you work? He's like 2 years. I said, did you work over part-time? He was like 40 plus hours a week. I was like, guess what? They owe you some bread. Next time I saw his girl, she was like, yeah, he just got his money. No. Here's the thing about that, because you pay into that. Here's the thing about that. He can be on unemployment for 6 months and then apply for an extension. Guess where that money's coming out of? The same place that fired you. He paid into it. That's what I'm talking about. Look out for you, little homies out here. You ain't looking at if somebody's not helping you out, then keep it moving. How do you leave a 6-figure man who, you know what I'm saying? For one, I'm not going to tell you how to help leave this guy. Because if I do, and you crying on your pillow in the middle of the night because, he moved on, then you're going to be mad at me. And you always going to be lamenting over it. I had a 6-figure man. No, I'm not doing that. Look. I talk to you. I listen to you about your situation because you're a cool sister. I don't usually do that. I usually tell the person, like, I'm your man, dude. That's usually my attitude because I'm not getting any draws. I'm not benefiting, and that's just real. Like, I don't want to hear about you and your. I'm not getting no, but you're different. For one, you care, okay? So it's just different from you. You know what I'm saying? You've helped me out. You know what I'm saying? So I got a different feel for what's going on with you. A lot of women will try to put a dude in the friend zone and will think that he's like, your guy girlfriend. You know how I feel about that. Like, I'm a dude. I'm gonna look at your body. I'm gonna You know what I'm saying? I'm a man. Like, don't think that my winky is cut off. That's not popping. If we in close quarters and I think I can, I will. I'm a man. Nah, get off of that. I'm at least get a hug or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna squeeze the booty or something, baby. I'm at least try. I'll be a gentleman about it, but hey, I'm not gonna be like, "Ooh, she fine," and I don't want it. Not that. I'm a single man. If I'm married, it's different. But as far as like, I don't have any advice on how to leave that. I don't have that. All I have is stories on when I left the person who was doing for me like you was doing for, you know what I'm saying? Like, I left a woman who was doing for me, but she was a piece of trash. But she was doing for me. And she wanted to keep doing for me. But she was a piece of trash ass woman. But she was like, she needed me to lead her money. She didn't deny me anything. If I wanted to sleep with her, I slept with her. If I wanted money from her, I got it from her. Listen, when I moved to Atlanta, she moved me there. When I moved back from Atlanta, she drove down there and got me in a day. Just like that. No questions asked. It was a phone call. Hey, come and get me. I'll be moving truck, everything. She paid for it all. Just like that. I've been had women do stuff for me as far as money. That's nothing to me. So when I see somebody else doing for somebody and, giving up them dividends and stuff like that, I'm like, listen, that's only one part of a relationship to me. That's not, to me, that doesn't solidify anything. It just doesn't. It just means that's how you feel about that person. Because this woman was cheating on me with anybody. And she loved the fact that she would go out and just be a complete slut. And it didn't come home to me. So giving me money didn't mean anything. It just means she gave me money. Didn't mean a damn thing. So I'm like, nah, I'm not going to tell you how to leave. But you have to. Look, man. 4 months ago, y'all went through the same thing. Yeah, 4 months ago, y'all went through the same thing. Thank you, baby. What I can tell you is, listen, anytime somebody says something that is as enlightening as what he said to you, that's your opportunity. Let me put it in a story. When I found out old girl was sleeping with all these dudes, that was my light. That was a light that was shining on me. I'm getting the cookies, I'm getting the money, I'm sleeping in her crib, but other dudes is running up in the crib and you got your stuff up in there. They playing with my guitar and shuffling through my clothes, busting on the same bed I'm busting on. I'm walking in the house and I'm seeing a nigga that busted all over the couch. You know what I'm saying? Busting all over the bed. I'm just like, this ain't even one dude's bust. Like, you have multiple dudes up in here busting in you while I'm out looking for a job. You got to look at it like, if you saying that, why you say that we girlfriend, like, why you say you my woman, you got to look at it like, who am I? You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting up here loving on this whore, telling her it's going to be all right, helping her with her problems, and she's on her knees in front of another dude. Who am I? I told you see what she did. See, I had to say, who am I? See, the thing about it is when somebody starts to tell you who they are and you don't believe it, that's your fault. When these women started to show me who they was and I didn't want to believe it just because they're female, just because they look so damn good, or just because I had a need from them, that's my dumbass fault. I'm not innocent. When you get played, you're usually not innocent. You're usually not. You usually know you're getting played. You usually do. Listen, the person usually knows what's going on. They have some kind of inkling. They have some type of feeling. And they can either acknowledge that feeling or not. If they acknowledge that feeling, that's finding out the truth. I want to know the truth. What's really popping off? That's confronting the truth. That's what you're supposed to do. And then when they know the truth, if they're still arguing with somebody 2-3 weeks down the line after they know what happened, it's like, why are we even arguing? You know what happened. What are you going to do? That's it. Either you're going to stay. Like, I know this young lady I was dating her cousin. I was dating her, had a dude that would run off all the time, live with her, but will run off and won't even come home sometimes. And she knows he's getting it in with somebody else. She knows. She just sitting up there waiting for him to come home. Yeah, be careful when you love money. But I feel you. You love your success is what you love. So she knows he's getting it. He don't even come home. He don't even come home sometimes. And she's sitting up here crying because of this skinny dude is out there throwing the deal on some strange at the club. He'd have met some random he'd have met, giving her all the attention. And you sitting up here crying. Nah, what you do is you take all of his stuff, you sit it out on the curb. You sit it on the curb. You change up your locks. And when he comes home, he can't get in. And when he calls you, you don't answer. He'll get the point. Bye. And then you go out to the same club. Nah, don't do that. But nonetheless, don't go because that's just ratchet. But what you do is you heal. You cry if you gotta cry. You box if you gotta box. You do some push-ups. You go talk to your girlfriend. You eat chocolate. Whatever the heck it is you need to do to heal, but don't fall into the same dumb trap. And a lot of us are susceptible to that. Like, I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. I can fight, but I'd rather be loving on some. I want to love on some double D's and a big booty. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to be sitting up here swinging on you. But I got the money I got to be in and out of jail. Now we fighting, you calling the cops. That turns me all the way off. That just turns me off. We got to yell at each other to get us some good love. I don't even waste my time. I done left some beautiful women just because of that. Like, nah, I'm not doing this. Oh, you yelling now? Bye. I'm not doing it. I'm not focusing on that. I'm just telling y'all, focus on your success. How successful are you? How successful are you? And is the person you're with helping you become successful? Listen, I'm not talking about getting a degree, not unless that's your version of success. I'm talking about successful in life. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to get 100,000, who's helping you get 100,000? If you're trying to climb a mountain, who's helping you climb a mountain? I feel you, bro. I'm just trying to tell you. Should I take the trip then, leave afterwards? I don't understand that. I don't understand. Take the trip down there. You should heal yourself. Here, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that damages a relationship when somebody is not clear. Lies. When somebody lies to you, when somebody is hemming and hawing, when they're not clear, when somebody leaves room for doubt, doubt kills a relationship. If you're not clear about what somebody says, call them, FaceTime them, whatever you have to do, and look at them and say, what you mean? That's it. You need to be like, what you mean? Yeah. You need to look at somebody, whoever it is you're dealing with. I don't care if it's your parents, I don't care if it's your brother and sister, whoever it is you're building with. If they say something to you that is a non-building comment or is something that, can tear down the whole relationship that you got, you need to stop everything as what you need. Like, I need some clarity on that. Because doubt will kill a relationship. Look. You need to find out what's going on, and that's what you mean. You need to be able to write down exactly what that person means. You need to be able to fully correlate and have a complete catharsis of what that person meant and what you are to them before you continue to do what you're doing. See, you got to understand, some people like to be fooled. Some people like to be used. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Those are very, very true statements. There are some women out here who want to be a piece of trash. I know a girl who was raped twice in the same alley by walking out of the same. Why go back to the same club? You know what I'm saying? She has a child by somebody who's in jail right now. Stays in jail. Like, this is what you like. So when a good guy like me comes along, I'll marry you, I'll be sweet to you, she has no interest in that. Why? Because she likes bad men. She likes to be treated like a loaf of bread. She likes to be treated like a toilet. That's what she likes. You're not going to change that. You marry her, she's going to cheat on you with everyone. She's going to cheat even more. So I'm confused as to what this means. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You should not be confused. You should not. You should not be confused. No one should be confused in a relationship, in a state of confusion. A state of confusion should not be a continuous state of confusion in a relationship. There should be a sit down, there should be a phone call, there should be a video chat, there should be an email, there should be something that has clarity. See, you know why people get upset when they break up from each other is because when somebody's in, there was no clarity. There's ties that have been broken and the other person doesn't know why. This causes anger. It's a spirit. Listen, me and this one girl used to talk all the time. And we used to talk all the time, and I stopped talking to her. We used to video chat. And I stopped talking to her and she lost it. Why is that? You're gonna treat me like this? She lost it. Why? Because the spirit that connected her was coming through the video chat, and I cut it off. It was the spirit in her that went nuts until she realized what was happening to her, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm good." But she flipped. She thought I was doing her wrong. I just didn't want to talk to her anymore. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? And then and the same thing happened to me with the same girl. I got upset because she didn't want to talk to me and video chat like I wanted to anymore. It was a spirit. Once I realized it was a spirit, I was like, oh, this isn't even me. This is some age-old being that's been here for a millennia that's inside of me getting its rocks off through the talking to this woman. And now, once a year on my birthday, next month she'll call me. We'll talk for a half an hour. She won't call me again until the next year. Every year she calls me once a year. You see all the stuff you're saying right there. Yeah, we talk once a year. I hardly even recognize her voice. I'm like, who's this? Because I don't get a lot of phone calls. And then I'm like, oh, I know who it is. How you doing? She's like, fine. How are you? And I'm like, okay. And then she'll ask me what I'm doing. And then that's it. She calls me once a year on my birthday. Every year. I know she's going to call me on my birthday. I'm okay with it. Other than that, there's nothing. Here's what it is. I've known the girl for 30 years. Literally. So it is what it is. I used to have a young lady who I dated, fell in love with like a dumbass. And she took about 10 years and she would leave, come back, leave, come back, leave, come back. She would find me. I even moved out of town. She found out where I was. Knocked on my door. She would hunt me down. I'm like, don't come back here. Because I know you about games. You didn't want what I wanted. No. I ain't got time to be chasing you anymore. No. I got clarity on what was going on. She was just using me. People are going to use you. If you're nice, people are going to use you. They want something from you. Listen, don't think because you are the you who you are that somebody is not going to use you and throw you away. Beyonce got cheated on. I mean, do I need to say more? Come on now. 1, she fine. 2, she rich. 3, she's his wife. 4, she's having babies by this dude left and right. And he still cheated on her. Okay? It just... If that's what that person is, that's what they are. And guess what? He gonna do it again. That's what I'm saying. Don't think because you got some kind of attributes that somebody ain't going, run up on you twice and then be like, deuces. Oh no, Chris Brown, you ain't deuces. No, I'm trying to tell you. Everybody is susceptible to getting used. Everyone. That's just that. Everyone. JFK was cheating with Marilyn Monroe. They was sneaking her through the White House, through passages through the White House, knocking her off and then sending her back. And then his brother was knocking her off too at the same time. See me today. Yeah, come see me today. All 3 of them are worm food right now. Nah, everybody is susceptible. You wait a minute. You mean to tell me Jackie Onassis, she's an Onassis, was not good enough for you? No. Jackie Onassis. The Jackie Onassis. Was it? Them boys had to have some of Emma Jean. People get used. People get used. Now, some cases are more extreme than others. You just need clarity on what's going on. Who are these people? You don't know who these people are? I bet Five knows. Born, do you know who these people are who I was talking about, Born Savior? I bet he knows. Anyways, I'll enlighten you. JFK, I'm surprised you don't know who JFK is. John F. Kennedy, he was our president at one time, back in the 60s. What's going on, 21? John F. Kennedy was our president. He was assassinated, and then his brother, Robert F. Kennedy, was assassinated, and Marilyn Monroe is Emma Jean. Emma Jean is her real name, but her stage name was Marilyn Monroe. They were sleeping with the president and his brother in the White House. Jackie Onassis was John F. Kennedy's wife. A very wealthy woman, very powerful woman. It was John F. Kennedy's wife. Yeah. So that's who those people are. She married into the name Onassis, by the way. I think after Jim. And then her son, but Marilyn Monroe was better than his wife. Yeah, Marilyn Monroe was bad. Emma Jean was bad. I'm just saying. Oh, you like that? 21. Yeah, Emma Jean was smoking. JFK was like, yo, whenever she sang happy birthday to you, Mr. President, oh, it was over. He was like, I'm about to get in them grown dog. Sneaking through the back way. Snuck her into the back. He was lighting her up. People found out about it. Goodbye, Emma Jean. That's what the song Candle in the Wind is about. Seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind. That's who he's talking about. She got poisoned. Yeah, they knocked her off. But listen, they knocked her off. They knocked off JFK. They knocked off JFK's brother. They knocked off JFK's killer. They knocked off JFK's son. There's very few of them Kennedys left. One of them tried to run for president against Obama. Found out that she wasn't paying her taxes. Yeah. I don't know. Not too many. The uncle, he murdered a woman on his front lawn. They finally got him and put him in jail. He was a senator. The father was the reason why he got to be so rich is because he was selling liquor. He was a shiesty businessman. You know, he was into some shady dealings. So You know, he pissed people off early, and it just doesn't surprise me that his kids are no longer here. But Jackie Onassis, she died of cancer or something like that. She remarried and died of cancer. She wasn't a Kennedy. Carolyn Bessette, she died with her soon-to-be husband, which was JFK Jr. They died in a plane crash. What happened was they was flying a Cessna, which is a small airplane, over I forgot what body of water it was, but there was a low ceiling, which means there were low-lying clouds, and the water was there was a storm, so the waves were going like this. And when you're flying, you know, you're going like this, bow, right into the water, drowned instantly, right into the ocean. Yeah, they cursed because of their father. He was shady. It ain't over. Yeah, Martin Luther King was supposed to be cheating. I don't know. Everybody keeps saying that he was a hoe. I don't know. I don't know if he was or wasn't. But you can imagine all the women that were throwing themselves at MLK trying to get a baby out of him. You can imagine how many women was trying to get a baby out of Martin Luther King. You know how guys usually scope on women and like, ooh, I'm gonna knock her up. I'm gonna throw some babies. I'm gonna throw some babies up in her. That's the way they was probably looking at Martin Luther King. Why? Because of his bloodline. Women love power. Yeah, it was a Cessna. They were going to their little getaway they had. And JFK was the pilot, JFK Jr. Yeah, those women was looking at MLK like, oh, you about to get all up in this. You know we about to have some babies. I'll tell you right now, Broham. Yeah, you overcome over this moment. Yeah, you overcome over this moment. Blac Chyna and the Kardashians, where do they get the hoeing from? Oh, well, let me change this song because y'all done switched up the Blac Chyna. I gotta put something on that's more radical. You talking about Blac Chyna and her hoeing around. All right, for one, let me just say this. Let me see how this song, I don't remember the song. Let me just say this. I don't follow the Kardashians because they're witches. I don't care how many people they get freed from jail. You start off in the hoe game. When you start off in the hoe game and you deliberately, okay, for one, Kim Kardashian was already going to be famous. Let's just put it, let's just do this. Kim Kardashian was already going to be famous. One reason why Kim was going to be famous because she's good looking. All right, let me try to put some bulletins up because you guys are highly going to follow this. Kim Kardashian her mom and dad, of course, you know who her mom is, Jenna or whatever, but her dad was a lawyer in the O.J. Simpson case. It was Johnny Cochran and Kim Kardashian's dad. You're already famous because of your dad. That's just it. You are already going to be noticed. Notice you, okay? Your dad was the guy who got OJ off. All right? So let's just pump the brakes right there. All right? So when you look at that, you're like, okay, boom, that's going on. Cool. Then he dies. The mom turns around and marries Bruce Jenner. You're talking about one of the first people on a Wheaties box. You're talking about an icon, triathlete. Tell me one other triathlete that you know out there. Don't worry, I'll wait. Tell me one triathlete that Olympics last year, or last Olympics, last 2 Olympics, last 3 Olympics. Tell me one triathlete. If you know any other triathlete. I only know 2 other triathletes, and they haven't been competing in almost 20 years. Last 2 Olympics, tell me who was a triathlete. Man and woman, tell me. You know why you can't tell me? Because who cares? Because they're not on the Wheaties box. Because they're not they're not the focus of the public. Usain Bolt was the focus of the public. He was breaking records. He was kicking A and taking names. And he ain't even from this country. That's how Bolt is. But you had Bruce Jenner. Bruce, a triathlete. Probably the only well, Dan O'Brien. I don't even think he was on a Wheaties box. Dan and Dave O'Brien, they were 2 brothers. They were black too. But I don't even think they were on the Wheaties box. They might have been, but I don't know. But Bruce Jenner is one of the first people to be on a Wheaties box. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm getting at? She don't go by Bruce no more. But you know what I'm saying? So the Kardashians were already famous because the mom married 2 famous people. Right? Right. So Kim Kardashian goes out and decides, I'm gonna be a hoe. She does the whole thing with Ray J's sex tape. I don't really have a problem with that. I was like, hamburger, the woman fine. But then she starts going to do trashy stuff. It just made no sense to me. But she was copying what Paris Hilton did. Paris Hilton, nothing. She ran around with Lionel Richie's daughter, adopted daughter. So Kim wanted to be famous. But Kim started, she dumped Reggie Bush like it was nothing. She married Chris Humphries and then dumped him like it was. She would just went around sleeping with famous black men, but she made sure they were famous until she landed with Kanye West. And I'll bet anybody $10,000 she's gonna divorce Kanye West. Now, as far as Blac Chyna, Blac Chyna is just following suit. So she just like, oh, now everybody's paying these crazy numbers in child support. Rob Kardashian is a simp. And she wanted her kid to have a Kardashian name. So she was just like, yeah, you looking at this ass? It's gonna cost you. Straight up. It's going to cost you. And it's costing him every day, to the point where Kim Kardashian is just like, I'm going to take some of that child support from you. And getting all that child support off my brother. Blac Chyna just had a video showing her fleet of cars. Let me turn the music off for this. Do you know how much Blac Chyna is worth? Just take a stab at it. Yeah, because Blac Chyna was misusing. She was misusing child support. But you got to understand who Kim Kardashian is. But take a stab at how much you think Blac Chyna's worth. She's probably got investments. I'm going to just tell you how much she's worth. $6 million. $6 million. That's her net worth in 2018. She's not getting all that money from Rob Kardashian, but she's getting a lot of it. That child support, yeah. Now see, Kim Kardashian, nah, just for that one person. Now, you got, I mean, she does shows and stuff with, you know, celebrity stuff, but you got to understand, now that they see Rob Kardashian hurting and mad because he got to pay out all that money, the way she left, the way Blac Chyna left and then was on the gram with other dudes, like she did Rob so wrong that her sister, like Rob's sister was just like, oh, nah, it ain't going down like that. She vacated the house on, what was it? It was one of the holidays, right? Took everything out the house and left that man crying. You don't think his sister got mad about that? Kim Kardashian just went to the president and got somebody released out of jail who had a life sentence. She went to the Oval Office and was like, I want this woman released. She didn't even know the woman. There's a black woman who was in there for drugs. She wasn't a user, she was a distributor. They gave her a life sentence. She did 20 years, but she was in there for life. They was like, I want this woman let up out of there. Kim is a boss. Blac Chyna is in trouble. And she was showing off her fleet of cars. She just did this like last week. She's in trouble. She's in trouble. Yeah, she a boss, straight up. She is the most famous person in the world. Try to wrap your noodle around that. She got paid $80 million just to do a video game, just for her image. She's the most famous person in the world. The. And her sister, Callie. Okay, let me turn the music off for this too. Kim Kardashian's net worth is like $365 million. Do you know what her sister's net worth is? Her half sister. Just take a stab at it before I play this. Just take a stab. Just holler out some numbers to see if you can even come close to see what her sister's worth. You try it. See what you come up with. All right, I'll just tell you. She's worth almost $1 billion. That little 21-year-old that just had a baby by a black guy. A$AP Rocky, right? Well, one of those dudes. She's worth almost $1 billion. They gonna come for Blac Chyna. That little $6 million ain't gonna have. It ain't gonna protect you. Yeah, Kylie. Kylie got a baby by hottest rapper right now, and she selling her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They out here making money. Travis Scott. That's what it is. They out here making money. Travis Scott is worth $15 million and going up every day. I like Travis Scott. But they just hand over fist. They just making money. That little $6 million that Blac Chyna is worth is, I'm telling you, that's going. You do to what? That money. Listen, they are gonna get that money. They're gonna judge. Not to just stop child support. Blac Chyna is gonna get sued. Oh, you like, yeah, I like it. Because he's a hip hopper. Blac Chyna is gonna get sued in court, in civil court. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna go to civil court, and Kim Kardashian's team of Jewish lawyers are gonna crush Blac Chyna. And they're gonna prove beyond reasonable doubt that she caused Rob Kardashian emotional harm. And she set him up simply because of the way she vacated the premises. Now you gotta understand this. You coax a man into having a child with you. You make him believe that you're in love with him. You get a baby out of him, and then you leave. As soon as the baby's born, you leave, and you're seen with another man, and then you sue him for child support. You better believe that there's a crime in there somewhere, and they're going to find. They'll spend $6 million just trying to find the crime, and turn around and sue her in civil court and make $6 million back the next day. They'll sue her, and they can do it. She ain't got that type of money. Travis Scott baby mama is worth $1 billion. $6 million is nothing to that young lady. Nothing. She'll take that money and throw it at one lawyer. Boom. Go get my brother's money back. Here you go. Boom. And them lawyers are beat on Blac Chyna's ass. I want to see it done. Courtroom mercenaries. I'm telling you, that girl's in trouble. Because that's what I would do. It would be no holds barred. I'm worth a bill. Oh, you better believe you're not going to sit up on the Instagram and, do my family like that. I'm coming for you. I'm going to hold you in litigation forever. That's where it costs so much. Litigation. Them lawyers cost, especially good ones. Cost you $1 million. Easy. Easy. And everything, and listen, Blac Chyna is young. She young. So she did everything on Instagram. It's not like she can hide what she did. Everything is in the open. She made her money off of doing that. So all the evidence is right there for everyone. And Rob Kardashian sitting there crying, and you do the next day, oh, I'm coming for you. I'm taking your Ferrari. That Ferrari, $400,000. I'm taking that. Your Bentley, you got a Bentley. You got a Ghost, don't you? I'm coming for that Ghost. What else she got? I'm coming for all that. But that Ferrari is the most expensive, I think. Word on the street is trying to still sleep with the former client. Still include Amber Rose. They still both home. Listen, I'm telling you, God is not dead. Everybody pays. Everybody's going to pay for what they do. And if you can, listen, I was reading the scripture and it talks about if you continue to live, you know, and you die in that lifestyle, then that's how you're judged. Like, you're not going to keep just, you can't keep living like that. And you know that it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get yours. You're going to get yours. You're going to test the water one time too many. You better cut that out. Listen, it wouldn't surprise me if federal agents seized Blac Chyna's house. They just ran up on her. Like they did Chris Brown at one time over an allegation. It would not surprise me if they came and towed away all her cars and seized her crib. And just did that. Just did it. And held all her stuff in probate. Yeah, your house is in probate and your vehicles are in probate and your bank accounts are all seized. Until they can do that. Freeze all of your stuff. If they think that you're abusing the federal system, trying to tell you, if they stop their child support, they're coming for that ass. Exactly. Like, how can anybody be able to afford a Lambo, Ferrari, mansion, Range Rover, and you only making a few $100? Oh no, she making money. She making money, but she gaffled. She Kevin Federline them. If you don't know, you probably don't know who Kevin Federline is, so let me bring you up to speed. Kevin Federline is Britney Spears' ex-lover. He was a dancer while Britney was at her hottest, making $50 million a year. And Kevin Fed was a dancer who had a black wife and 2 kids. But he was up there, oops, I done it again. And Britney was just like, I want a piece of that. So he was like, sure. Talked it over with his woman. He was like, get that money. Had 2 kids with Britney, gets mad child support, takes the child support, feeds his other kids with it. You got Federline. He's done it. He filed papers back. Yeah, $20K a month. Yup. $20K a month is ridiculous. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah. Yeah, she gonna end up owing him. Men are not second-class citizens. That's not your child. That's our child. I don't know where women get off doing that. So I took the baby and then went to, well, guess what? That's kidnapping. They kicking men out their own house, a house that they built for their family. Women cheat on them and then kick the man out the house. Just get out. Just right now, Tom, you need to leave. Like, I paid for this. I'm calling the police. Call them. Knock them out. I'm going to have me some orange juice and cookies while you call them. Sit up here and watch my show. Better get all the way up out of here with that. Well, officer, he hit me. Well, show me where he hit you. Well, it's on my, yeah, talk to you later. Well, see, officers are tired of snatching men out their house. You know why? because most of the officers are men. They tired of it. Who else is on here? My man, Born Savior. Officers are tired of it. They like, nah, we tired of snatching men out the crib just because you cheated on him. I'm not going down like that. This man paid for it. You want to leave, leave. Those kids don't belong to you. They belong to both of you. Getting tired of that. Snatching my little girl, she just felt, oh, your little girl's fine. You want to separate your little girl from her dad, the dude who's supposed to be protecting her. Like the shield of the family. You just going to snatch the shield from your daughter because you want to go lay around with the milkman. Are there still milkmen? There probably are. Mailman. Get out of here with that. Like courts, listen, the court system has been abused to the point where women are going to start getting the brunt end of the stick. They're going to start getting hammered in court because of all the lies. And let me put it to you like this. The system, the way the American system is built, the way the working American system has taken such a structural change that the main breadwinner in the house is now the woman. Right? Women don't make more than men. Women at work than there are men. There are 7 million men, which is 10% of the populace, out of work. Wrap your skull around that. That's just in this country. Now, there are all kinds of reasons why there are so many men who are out of work, and some are not looking to go back to work. Some of that is simply because of the Me Too movement, where you have who have built up a PERS, a 401k, retirement of some type, worked at GE, General Mills, General Electric, Goodyear, Firestone, all these companies that they were employed at 20 years. This, and all of a sudden, a woman comes along and says something that cannot be proven, and that guy is fired from his job. Loses his pension, but doesn't lose his PERS. But then he gets sued. So he can't pay out of pockets. He can't pay out of pocket because he's no longer employed there. So guess what money he's going to use to his PERS, his 401k. She's going to get that money regardless. Even if he's not guilty, she's still getting some of that money because he has to pay it in lawyer fees. See what I mean? It's a loss situation for the man. So they're just like, I busted my butt all these years, and one false allegation sent me down the rabbit hole. I'm not coming back out. I'm not 20 years old. I'm 45 with a bad T3. I got a gimp in my left knee. I take 20 different medicines just to get up and get this cheddar. And one woman said something, and I've seen a woman once, never touched her. And she says she feared for her life because I made her feel uncomfortable because I looked, and she felt sexually violated, that I looked at her like this. And now she's uncomfortable and her white vagina is being threatened. And this happened 20 years ago. The court is being played. And I'm going to tell you something about the people who control the courts. When they get angry, heads roll. They start tossing out all kind of laws. They start forgetting all kind of judicial practices. They just are out for blood. They send those goons out. They send those police goons out. And there's no first, second, third, fourth, fifth amendment. They don't care about any amendment. They're coming for you. They know where you live. You're outmanned and outgunned. They're attack dogs. There's not a civil bone in their body. They want you. All bad. All bad. Anyways, I think everybody left. Yeah. There's nobody else on. Beware of love. That's that tribal music. That's that African tribal. Tone. I know it's on you. I'm gonna sell that song. I'm gonna sell that beat. I'm selling that one. No, I forgot. Oh, baby. I'm gonna sell that beat right there. That beat is hot. I gotta do something. I gotta find other ways to make money. In a situation where I gotta get money. I'm gonna get it. No African. Boom, 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 that beat is so killer. Been working on my beats lately, man. I'm starting to take these beats seriously. I'm gonna get into this production thing better because I can make a couple dollars off of it. And all I need is a $100 extra a month, a $100 or two, about two, yeah, about 200. That's what I need. Man, I'm about to get heavy into these beats, man. My girl Nicole sings. Ooh. I'll be your backup singer. How about that? Be your backup singer. Okay. I got that backup singer's face too. That's the backup singer's face. Right? Be your backup singer. Have you changed the note? What up? Somebody just joined. How you doing today? Who that is? Somebody just came on. Okay. I'm just rocking out. Just rocking out to some beats I've been making. Been doing some beats. Rocking out. Making some beats. Seeing what I can come up with. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, the bo beep. Ooh, the beep, bop, boop, bop, beep. Trying to holler. The hell yeah, me in New York, tell me. Okay. Give it to him. You ain't ready with the Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. I'm trying this. Why is this not working? Y'all ain't ready for that. I ain't ready. My bad. I shouldn't have done that. I tried to hit the thing, but it didn't go. I'm trying to do the hit you up right now, but it's not allowing me. It's not allowing. It's not allowing me to video call you. I don't know why. Hit me back just to chat. Biggest fan. This is Stan. The Congo, no, how morning raindrops on my window. I can't see it all. Even if I could, it would all be great. But your picture on the wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad, not so bad at all. Send me another notice.